This is Jerry Lynn, and I'm going to create a sensation mongering at inyourheadonline.com.
Did you ever, was it ever upset you when, like, Shane was doing the Van Terminator?
Upset is a strong word. That never happened, you know, but at the same time, it was kind of a little bit, you know, like, it was kind of a little bit like, ugh, you know, Paul went there and showed him a video of me doing the Van Terminator. I wasn't working with WWE, so Paul thought it'd be a great way to get himself ahead, I guess, and to bring that move to the big stage. He said, "You think you can do this?" And so Shano did it. So while I was there, Shano suggested he and I tagging, doing a double, coast to coast, across the ring and stuff, you know. No, I don't get upset, you know. I mean, it's amazing to me that my moves can still stand out as being original because wrestling's been around for so many years. There's only 4 sides to a ring, except TNA. And, 2 arms and 2 legs on almost every wrestler. So it's amazing to me that I'm able to come up with stuff that we haven't seen.
Yeah, definitely.
Someone steals it, that's, I guess, to be expected.
Did you have anything else, Flea? I don't know if he even knows he's still on the line. Well, anyway, thanks for calling in there, Flea. I think we got LTNA fan here. He's calling in from Portugal.
Yes, I am. Hello there, RVD.
Hello to you in Portugal.
How are you doing?
I'm doing excellent. Thanks for asking.
Okay. I have a question. My first question is, you've been working pretty much everywhere, Europe, Japan, America, where you made most of your career. Is there any company inside of America or outside of it that you would like to work that you haven't worked yet?
I don't think so. I honestly, outside of the WWE, I kind of feel like working for any other company would be a step downward. A lot of people ask me right now, because I'm not under contract, I'm completely open. They ask when I return to wrestling, would I consider TNA? Would I consider this group? I would consider anything, but what I'm going to be weighing out would be a lighter schedule versus the prestige of wrestling and working for the WWE. Mm-hmm. Honestly, their superstars are so high above, the standard compared to anything else. And I would love to see some of the other groups come up and maybe try and be competition. But really, to me, from my perspective, WWE is like Coca-Cola or like McDonald's or something like that. It's like it's known around the entire planet as a successful brand. So that would be a lot to give up, you know. At the same time, right now, I don't see me returning to a full-time schedule either. So I'm definitely not ready to make that call yet. When it comes to traveling, I've always hated it, especially for the last several years. I loathe flying, which is what I need a break from. However, when I'm on a much lighter schedule and I'm able to go somewhere cool, you know, like, anywhere, like in Europe or England, or actually since I've been done with WWE, I've gone to England, I've gone to Australia, I've gone to New Zealand. They were very nice trips because I was able to bring my wife with me and we were able to hang out and see a little bit. So, you know, as long as there's something like that in it for me, you know, then that's something to weigh out also.
We were talking about outside of America, would you consider, for instance, returning to Japan and working for All Japan or something?
I would consider, as a matter of fact, I had been talking to them about this big show they got coming up March 1st, and really it wasn't just something that we were able to make happen. Being in the position that I'm in, I'm really not looking to take bookings. I'm really not looking to jump on an airplane. I'm really trying to avoid that, and I'm still staying home because that's just the stage that I'm at right now, and that's kind of like the path that I'm on right now, is spending more time inside me instead of spreading myself out all over the world. You know. However, speaking with All Japan, a bunch of the guys called me, and it's Dory Funk's retirement tour, I believe. So I started talking to him. And also I heard from Booker T that New Japan, had wanted to know if I'd be interested in going and wrestling Booker, and so, like I said, anything would be considered an option, but really it would take a lot more to get me out of my house right now than a lot of promoters would probably expect.
I wouldn't personally mind having the Great Muta as my boss, but that's just me. But can I just ask one more question before I go?
Yes, but I don't think anything can ever replace having Giant Baba as a boss. That was
Oh no, yeah. So of course, the greatest promoter of all time, in my opinion. Just one more question. Were you ever, for instance, you were wrestling against a younger wrestler, and he suggested a spot? Did you ever, for instance, decided he was suggesting a spot? It was very dangerous spot, and was it ever? Did you refuse to did that spot? Did you ever, was it ever suggested to you a spot so dangerous that you simply refused to do that spot in your career?
Yes, but so many different ideas popped into my head with that question. First, I was wondering if you were talking about when I was wrestling somebody young and they wanted to do something. In which case, I thought of a match a long time ago when I was wrestling this guy that during the match, real quick, this was back on the indie scene when you don't know what you're going to get. There's no, there's not a guaranteed quality of workers. But anyway, the guy ended up, he was talking real big, like he'd been everywhere and stuff. But I knew right away off the bat the guy had no idea what he was doing. And he ended up doing something that was ridiculous. He tried to put me over his knee and spank me. And so I just hooked his waist. I went behind him and I gave him a German suplex and dropped him on the back of his head. And that ended the match. It didn't have to. It could have just been enough to let him know, hey dude, this ain't how it's going down. But it was, he wasn't getting up. He stayed down. And then I thought maybe you were going to ask about when I was young and I didn't know any better. And I thought of my first match in Jamaica. When I was 21 years old, I wrestled Mark Starr, and I did something during the match because I was young and green. I did something that upset him. I don't know what it was, but he took that moment and decided to beat me up. And it's strange when you're young because you're trained to feed your body. What, dude?
Sorry, I was just telling the caller to cut down on whatever noise he's doing there. Go on, sorry.
No, it's not me. It's somebody else.
Yeah, I know. It's the other caller. Go on, sorry.
Okay. Well, anyway, it brought up a memory of when I took 3 power bombs in a row from Mark Starr, and I was so young. I'd only been wrestling 2 years, and I'll be damned if every time I wasn't feeding up, putting my head between his legs and taking that. And it's like, what do? You don't know. You're confused. Is it the right thing? It takes a long, long time to know. And at the time, I just thought he was totally such a dick for doing that. Now when I look back, I understand why he did it, but he was still a dick for doing it.
Right.
Because I wouldn't do that to a young guy, if someone's taking a chance during the match, something that's where it's dangerous because he's reckless or he doesn't have control or whatever, then there's ways, to stop them and snuff them down and whatever. But the 3 power bombs in a row, I didn't know, so I did a backflip off the ring, and was he upset? Oh, he was so upset. But now, more recently, as far as suggesting things that I couldn't do, you'd be surprised at what those guys, they think that I'm Superman up there in WWE. They've never understood me, and they watch my matches, and they say, all I know is you're doing all these kinds of things that I could never even dream of. So then there's no limit. There's no limit to imagination. One time, the one-legged kick I do off the top rope, right?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
I jump into the ring, way across the ring. I do one-legged side kick, pow, and I kick the guy, right? Arn Anderson was asking, could I do that from the top rope to the floor? I said, wait a second. You want me to stay on the top rope and to jump out and on my way down to the cement to deliver that kick before I hit the ground?
That would be good for the knees.
And yeah, exactly. And this was after I just came back from knee surgery and stuff. And I said, Arn, I can't pull that off. And he looked at me and he wasn't disappointed. He was just shocked. And he said, no, Rob. He goes, no, that's fine. He goes, but the thing is, as surprised as you are that I was asking you about this, he goes, we all talked about it and without you, and there wasn't a damn one of us that didn't think you could do it.
Yeah.
Well, I guess you can't get mad about that.
Yeah, it's all good, but no, that's how suggestions came across there. If it wasn't my idea, it was always just brought up what do you think about this? There was never any pressure. It's really not like that. It wasn't for me, and the more the more in charge you are of your own business and the more control you have, and that's something about being a man, really.